This conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible? Prachi, Hemlata is not there. The last time what we did is the conversion, right? So, okay, we were actually on the verge of doing this particular thing where we want to convert from decimal to integer. Now, decimal to integer means that I have something like this value, decimal hi is equal to, let's say, 23.43 m. The suffix has to be used, otherwise this will be taken as double. Now I want to convert decimal to end. I hope I'm audible to you guys, Lakshmi and Prachi.
Yes, Kaushik, you are audible.
Okay. So now let's do this particular conversion out here, decimal to integer. Now, will it support internal conversion or will it support external conversion? External conversion means typecasting. If it is supporting, for example, if it is supporting internal conversion, that means what? That means a less hierarchical value is kept to a higher hierarchical variable. That is internal conversion. External conversion means typecasting. That means a higher hierarchical value is kept to a lower hierarchical variable. So let me understand that whether decimal is greater in hierarchy to integer or less in hierarchy to integer. Conversion will also give me that particular scenario, right? That whether basically decimal is higher in hierarchy to integer or whether it is lower in hierarchy to integer. Okay, so I'll convert it to integer. So I have an integer variable ij and I put it I. Is it possible? It is not possible. See that what it is saying. Cannot implicitly convert type decimal to int. That means that what I am trying to do, I am putting up a higher hierarchy to a lower hierarchy. When is higher hierarchy value cannot be kept to a lower hierarchy variable? When the hierarchy of this value is greater than the hierarchy of this variable. What is the value of height? 25.43 m is decimal. So decimal value cannot be kept to an integer variable. When it cannot be kept? When decimal hierarchy is greater than integer. That is inference. So what I need to do, I have to do a typecasting. So this will be external conversion then. External conversion. And what is the reason for that? As decimal has higher hierarchy than integer. That is the meaning, and that is why I am doing external conversion. That is typecasting, and typecasting is a process for what? For numbers. Decimal also holds a number. Integer also holds a number. So when I have to do external conversion, that means I am keeping a higher value to a lower hierarchy variable, and that is typecasting for numbers. So what I do, basically, if I do want to do typecasting, I want to convert it to integer. So let's put integer. Got typecasted. External conversion. Okay. Now what will happen? Integer as a rule will not take 0.43. The 0.43 part will be truncated. And if I do a console.writeLine, console.writeLine, what is the value of j that will be printed out? 23, not 23.43, because of the fact that integer only take whole numbers. So let's run this debug. So I get 23, you can see that. Because it's basically a external conversion, typecasted to integer. Integer does not take real numbers or numbers with a decimal part. So I can close this. Now what about the other one? Let's say I'll copy this. I'll paste it out here. I want to convert from decimal to long. So this is, let's say, k. And the value, let's say, is 25.43 right now. So this is, we need to understand, so can I put a variable L which is of long time? Can I put it to with a k which is a decimal? Again, the same thing is coming. Cannot implicitly convert type decimal to long. That means the hierarchy of decimal is higher than long also. And that is why if I want to convert it to long, this decimal value, I have to do a typecasting. Let's do typecasting to long. And then print out the value of L. And then control F5 is the shortcut for getting the result. So I get 25. Okay. Now this also makes me understand certain things. The next question is that is decimal greater than float also? If I want to prove this is all proving. Proving will also make you understand what are the rules. So there is a variable called KLM. Decimal value is 125.43. I want to convert it from decimal to float. Can I do that conversion? So if I want to do the conversion, let's say this is n. Converted value has to be kept to a float variable. So this variable n is a float type. I want to put decimal value to a float variable. Can I put it? Not possible. Cannot implicitly convert type decimal to float. Can I do external conversion? That means for external conversion, I have to do typecasting to float. Is that possible? That is possible. That also makes you understanding that decimal is a higher hierarchy than float also. And then you can print out the value of n. And what will happen? Float takes a decimal part. It takes up the decimal part. So what is the result of this? 125.43. So when I run this, I should get 125.43. 125. 25.43 out is coming. Did I change it? Oh, this is, I'm using K, this is M. That's why it came like that. Now I should run this. 125.43. Okay. Now please understand one thing, that decimal is higher than your decimal is higher than your double also. So I can directly show you decimal to double. Convert from decimal to double. So I have a decimal value M4 value of 1125.43 or 44. Whatever it is, conversion from decimal to double. and double has a lower hierarchy than decimal. So when you keep it to a double variable, let's say p is a double variable. Can I put it directly? If I put it directly, it will give me a problem. Cannot implicitly convert. So what you need to do? Typecast it to, and then you can put the value of p. And since double supports decimal part, so the printout of p will be 1125.44. So what is the inference right now? Last time I had told you the hierarchy between numbers. Now I had told you last time that the highest hierarchy is given to double. Less than that is float, less than that is long, and less than that is integer. Actually, decimal is placed at the highest level. So this is the hierarchy of number formats, between number formats. This is, now I could have shown you directly and told you that double decimal is the highest hierarchy. The reason for me to basically show you that decimal is at the highest hierarchy is an example. Now, this example, the way that you are basically using this example is the way to learn the language also. What syntax error you are getting? Why it is not taking? If it is not taking, is it an internal conversion? Try to do that. If it is not taking an internal conversion, it is an external conversion. Typecasting. If it is taking it, that means it has the highest here. That is what I did. Okay. So this is the hierarchy between number format. So the decimal is going to be highest here. That basically takes care of the conversion part. Conversion from string to number, number to string to sum. Conversion between different number formats. So, for example, if I want to give an integer value to a decimal variable, is it possible? Obviously possible because it has a lower hierarchy. Lower hierarchy values can be kept to a higher hierarchy variable. Okay, so that is more than enough for the conversion part. Next, we can go to the concept of your operators are not taken, right? Have I taken operators? I think I have taken. Let's see that. Done, right? Yeah. Okay, so next we'll go to the program control flow. In program control flow, I have taken Boolean operators and logical operators. Any other operators I have taken? Compound operators I have taken? Comparative operators I have taken? Concatenation operator? Assignment operator I have taken, right? Concatenation operator? Okay, so then the right time to move towards your program control flow. Program control flow consists of two parts. One is the conditional statements, one is the loop statements. So we'll first see the conditional statement. So I'll create a new project today inside the same solution explorer and add the new project, which will be a C# console template. I'll call this namespace as, let me call this as program control flow. By this name, the project will also get it. Will change its project anyways. Okay, I would like to call it as session 6. I'll rename the project to session 6 and make this as a startup project. Now, first let me look at the condition statement. Now, please understand one particular thing is condition statements gives result based on Boolean condition. The result will be absolutely dependent on Boolean condition. That is the first thing. Now, that means what? It means that, what is the meaning of it? It means if the Boolean condition is true, a particular result is thrown out. And if the condition is Boolean false, another result is thrown out. I know it goes out of the screen. So what I can do is put it on the ground. So I can say this is the point number 1. I can put this as point number 2 so that you don't get a problem understanding which are the points. Okay, so as usage of the conditional statements, so there are two types of conditional statements. This is the third point. So these two types are, I can say 3A as if else, and I can say that 3B is switch. Comment this. So first we will see the switch part, if else part. So let's put it. Statement we will see. So first we'll see the syntax of it. So what is the syntax? If. So this is basically will stretch out a Boolean condition. This is the body of it. This is one syntax. Another syntax can be something like this. The other syntax is you will have the else part. This is the body of else. Now what is the working behavior? Understand it. Working behavior is pretty simple. Working behavior point number 8, you can say that we can only have the else block, the if block. We can only have the if block. That is not compulsory to have the else block. Okay. Point number B is that, but if there is an else block, it should be preceded by the if block. So what is the meaning of this particular sentence? First sentence is that you can only have the if block. It is not customary to have the else block. Okay. But if there is a else block, it should be preceded, not followed, preceded by the if block. So the forward is true, that means if does not require the else. Backward is untrue. If there is a else, it requires a if. Okay. So we'll see the working further. Okay, now C part is that the if block, or rather the body of if block gets executed when the Boolean condition is true. That means the body, this is the body part. This is called the body. The highlighted portion is called the body of if. Body of if will get executed if the Boolean condition is true. When is the body of else executed? Body of else is executed when the Boolean condition is false. So that means I can write down point number D. The body of else is executed when the Boolean condition is false. That is the working behavior. Very straightforward. If this Boolean condition gives you Boolean true, the body of if will get executed. If the same Boolean condition is Boolean false, the body of else is executed. Now I have told you one particular thing. You can only have the if part. You may not have the else part. Now, if you only have the if part, what is the working behavior? The body of if will get executed only when the Boolean condition is true. If this Boolean condition is false, since there is no else part, nothing will happen. Now here in this particular situation, the Boolean condition is defined and the else part is defined. If this Boolean condition is true, the body of if will get executed. If this Boolean condition is false, the body of else will get executed. Okay, so let's have some understanding and problems. So this is, I think, the main method in which I'm writing it down. So I can have to create all the code inside the main method. So let's say program number 1. So this I want to basically show highest of two numbers. Numbers can have any format. That is not a situation out here to decide what is the number format. Number format can be float, decimal, double, long, whatever it is. The highest of two numbers. That means these two numbers have to be first defined in the variable. So I can have a variable integer a is equal to 10, and I have, let's say, double b is equal to 9.99. Now looking at it, which is the highest? Obviously a is highest. Okay, but that is what the verbally and the visualization will tell you. How will you create a logic so that the compiler tells you that which is the highest? So let's do a comparison of the numbers. So when I have to do comparison of the numbers, how do I do it? Comparative operators. And if you involve comparative operators, it sets up a Boolean result. So that means this Boolean condition can be thrown out by a comparison involving comparative operators. I can do that. So let's do that. So I say that if, now let's basically understand one thing, only using the if block. If body, that's the body right now. So you have to give what? Boolean condition. How? Boolean condition is nothing but true and false. True and false, those are defined by comparative operators. So I will compare the numbers. Which is the highest? Currently is A greater than B. What is this fetching you? A Boolean result. So if it is highest, for example, this is true, what should you print out? Console.writeLine that A is the highest number among 2 and the value is whatever is defined within double quotes is a string, so that will be printed out as it is. Space is also a string character. Plus A. So right now, if you look at the if block, it doesn't have the else block. So if this Boolean, it is throwing out a Boolean condition as true, the body of it will be executed. Okay, so let's run this. A is the highest among two numbers and the value is 10. You can see that. Okay, now I do one particular thing. I make it as 9. Now this is called checking the logic. And if the logic is fine, you just have to change the value of the variable. And if the logic is fine, the logical power of the code will give you the correct answer. If the logic is not fine and you are changing the value of the variable, the logic is not fine, you are getting untoward result, stupid results. That means your logic is somewhere not correct. So this concept of checking the logic without changing the code, only changing the variable's value, is called as dynamicity. So dynamicity is a concept in which we check the logic of the codes without changing the coding lines, just changing the value of the variable. So I've changed the value to 9. According to this, is A greater than B? No. Boolean false. Boolean false means the body of it will not get executed. And there is no else block. So no result will be thrown out. Blank console you will see. Start a diagnostic and all. Nothing is thrown out. Okay, because the Boolean condition is false. Whenever a Boolean condition is false, that means that the else block will get executed. Since the else block is not present, that's why it is not in the make it bring it back to 10. So this is only using the if. What about using the else if? Depends. So I have the same line of code. The only thing is that I will actually implement the else block, and the console.writeLine will tell me what result should be thrown out as part of the else block. So I'll write down B is the highest and the value is B. So let's understand one thing right now. Is A greater than B? A is greater than B. The body of if will be executed. So the body of this if will be also executed. The body of this if will also be executed. Now, what happens to the else part? It will be ignored by the compiler. Why it is ignored? Because this throws out a Boolean true. When it is Boolean true, the body of if will get executed. If there is a else block, the else block will be absolutely ignored. So let's run this now. You will see the execution of two if parts. So you see that A is the highest. Two types. So there are two different programs. One with only the if block, one with the if else block. Now I change the value of this to, let's say, 90. Under these circumstances, this code will not execute anything because the Boolean condition is false. 19.99 is higher than 10. So under a situation in which this is throwing a Boolean false, the body of it will be ignored by the compiler. And since there is no else block, nothing will be printed out. But out here, what is going to happen? The body of if is getting ignored because the Boolean condition is false. So what is going to happen? The compiler will move the control to the else block and execute the body of else. The body of else gets executed when the Boolean condition is false. So let's debug this. B is the highest among two and the value is 19.99. This is a simple way basically to print out which is the highest. Now, my question out here. This will give you the argument of if. This is called the argument of if. The argument of if always throws you Boolean condition. It has to throw Boolean condition for the if else to work. Is the comparative operator the only way to throw out Boolean result? Generally, comparative operator throws out Boolean result. Is that the only way to throw out Boolean result? Can I use any other technique to throw out Boolean result in the argument of if? Yes, there is. For example, I will have program number 2. To issue drinking water. So I will give a simple scenario out there. If true, console.writeLine issue drinking water. Issue drinking water, else do not issue. Do not issue drinking water. What's the problem? Unreachable code. Unreachable code. Sometimes the ID creates again with unreachable code. Or the ID has a bug or something. I say if true, then is also not present. If true, this was why nouns, program, namespace, particular method. Programmer to issue within method, and another one is make it as false. So let's run this first. See if it is working fine or not. If this is working fine, why would the others work fine? I don't know. Issue drinking water. This is working fine. Let me use a differentiator. is, now what is the difference in this program and this program? This uses comparative operators to compare the numbers and then throw the Boolean result. Here I am directly using the Boolean values. True. So I can give false also out here. If false, this will not get executed, and this doesn't have the else part. So if you look at the compiler understanding, if you only have the, if you are directly using the Boolean value, the only true value will be taken. Otherwise, what it is showing you, this part will be unreachable. The moment I make false, the compiler is working like this. It is making this unreachable code. Okay, why this is happening? Because I think with the new version, they have changed the compiler too. This was not earlier, it did not used to happen like this. If I have false, I can put the else part. Okay. Now, why it is not taking the, and it is logical also to put this particular rule, because if will only take true. The if argument always to true, does not take false. So when you put false, these lines of the code will be obviously unreachable. But if you make it as true, it always takes true. It is taking true. Rest of the part is reachable. Else block is executed when there is a false. There is no false out there. It's always true. So if I use console.writeLine inside this, I think the new rule is in setup. You will see that this becomes unreachable code automatically. Unreachable code detected. So that means you can use the Boolean value, and since the if argument only takes a Boolean result to be true, the true is taken, the false will not be taken. If I write down false, rest of the codes out there become unreachable. So that means I can directly use true out here with the if block, because as a rule, if argument will only take true, and then this block will get executed. The else part you have to remove if you are directly using the Boolean results. If you are using comparative operators, they can use the if part as well as the if else part. These rules are coming automatically now. Now let's look at program number 3. Any other way that I can basically have an if argument with throw out Boolean true or Boolean false. So program number 3. Let's say issue PAN card. So when is the PAN card issued? PAN card issued when your age is more than 18, equal to or more than 18. Okay. So I write down if, I'll not give the condition. I'll just give console.writeLine. I'll write down PAN card will be issued. And I have the else part stating that PAN card will not be issued. Okay. Now, since I have not passed an argument, it is showing you invalid expression. But what I am trying to fill, first I fill in the comparative operator. Why? Because it gives me a Boolean true or Boolean false. Next, I use the Boolean true directly out here. You can't use false because it will not take an argument with true or Boolean false. So all false cannot be taken. If you are putting false out here, these lines are going to be unreachable. You have to always put it true. The third point is that I will take this argument which takes up a function, and the function returns a Boolean true and the Boolean false. Now, how do you create a function? This is the main function. This is the body of the main function. I'll contract it. This is where the main function is present. Expanded. This is the start of the body, and this is the end of the body. Right? So I will contract the main function. If you want to create a function needs to be created inside the class file. It has to be created inside the class body, but outside of other functions. Remember, if I want to create a function, it has to be created inside the class body. The function as a session will be taken separately. But since I am showing you that you can also pass on something called as a function as an argument of the if, that is why I am telling you. So function needs to be defined inside the class. This is the class ending. But outside of other functions. This is where the main function is ending. So you can create another function outside of it, but inside the class. Okay. So I'll create a function. And the rule is that create inside class body, but outside of any other function. Now class can have n number of functions. Okay, so I'm creating the function out here. So what is this function all about? Public static. This function will return a Boolean value. Okay, so bool, and what is the word? I write down what is the function name? Is age 18 or more? Is age 18? Is age equal to 18 or more? Equal to 18 or more. What is the function name? Function will always have a parenthesis and a body. Like main method has body, the function also has a body. Any other function will also have a body. But what is the difference? Here the main method returns a void. Here the function is returning a bool, Boolean value. So whenever a function returns any other values apart from void, this is returning a bool value. So when a function returns any other value apart from void, you have to use the return statement. And the return statement should be the last line of the code. Otherwise, this red underline will not go. Okay, now let's create the body first. So let's say I have integer age. Let's say 18. I'm giving you a very short example of this because this will be taken separately. So I write down an if condition. If age is greater than equal to 18, it will return true. Else it will return false. Now remember one particular thing, what is this function returning? Bool. So if you are using a function which returns a value which is not void, you have to use the return statement. So what I'm saying, age is equal to 18. If age is greater than equal to 18, please return the value of this function as true. If the age is less than 18, the else part will get executed, and what is this returning? False. Okay. Now, what is this function returning? It will return Boolean value. The Boolean value can be either true or false. Now, what is the function showing you? Age is 18. So if the age is between this range, return true as the value of boot. If the age is less than 18, return false as the value of boot. So what is this value? What is this function returning? Boolean value. So I can call this function is age equal to 18 or not inside this argument. Control space bar is age equal to 18. And this is not a public function. Make it also as public. And it is returning a Boolean value. Cannot give a method group to invoke the method Boolean proper. No, I did not call the function with the parentheses. Okay. Now, what is this returning right now? What is the age right now? 18. So what will this return? True. That means what is the value of this argument? True. If the argument is true, what will be printed out? PAN card will be issued. This part will be absolutely ignored. Let's run this. So I should get PAN card to be issued, right? Let's wait for the build to finish. There are build errors. Where are the errors? Let us see that. Okay, there's an error out here. I'm not giving the closing here also. Now it is gone. I can save this and I'll run it. So PAN card will be issued. Now, when do I basically say that the PAN card will not be issued? That means inference is that if argument can be an argument which can use a comparative operator, it can directly use a Boolean result too. If argument can also take a function which returns a Boolean value. Now, when can I make to send this particular line of code? PAN card will not be issued when the age is greater than or less than 18. So what I will do in this function, I will make the age equal to 17. So this will become false. If this become false, it will go to the else part, and what is the else part returning? False. That means this Boolean function, this function is now returning a Boolean result of false. That means this is returning false. If this is returning false, this part will be ignored. What part will be executed? Else. So let's run this. And now I should get PAN card will be not issued. So there are three aspects of the if else what we have seen today. One thing is that if takes an argument, else does not take an argument. That is the first inference. The argument of if should show you a Boolean true or a Boolean false. If it is Boolean true, the if block gets executed. If it is Boolean false, the else block gets executed. We've also seen that you can only execute the if part without the else block. But if there is an else block, we need the if part. We can use comparative operators as an argument of if, because comparative operators gives you Boolean true or Boolean false. We can directly use the Boolean results. The if block only takes the Boolean result of true, not false. We've seen that. So if I put false, rest of the codes as part of the body of if will become unreachable code. So that means if you are directly putting the argument with the Boolean result as false, the rest of the codes as part of the if block or the else block will be shown as unreachable code. So if you are using the Boolean result directly in the if block, it has to be true. And the else block should not be present if the if block shows you an argument value as true as the Boolean result. If you are using a function as an argument of if block, ensure that the function is returning a Boolean result, as we have seen for a PAN card. So if it is basically saying that if the age is greater than equal to 18, PAN card will be issued. If it is less than 18, PAN card will not be issued. Now what I am returning, if you look at the function, is age equal to greater than 18, it is returning a Boolean value. So in the if block, I am giving a condition, is age greater than equal to 18? If it is true, what is the if block returning? Returning true. Return true. If it is less than 18, goes to the else block, return false. That will be the Boolean value of that function. And that function is called as an argument of if. Because argument of if will only take a Boolean true and a Boolean false. That is what this function is doing. So you can see that if argument can not only be used for comparative operators, it can be used with functions which returns a Boolean true or false. Or you can directly call the true result of Boolean. Okay. Now I've not finished it out here because there's nested block I need to show you. And the nested block I can show you directly out here. So let's go to program number 4. I'm clear about the facts that I'm trying to show you. Is that clear? Huh? So let's now program number 4. I'm inside the main method right now. This function is outside of the main function. It's another function. Program number 4. To check highest of 3 numbers. Now, whenever you have to do a comparison of more than 2, whenever you have to do a comparison of more than 2 entities, earlier it was highest of 2 numbers, 2 entities. Here I am comparing 3 numbers, that means 3 entities. So whenever you need to do a comparison of more than 2 entities, you have to use nested returns. Okay, so comparison of more than 3 entities requires us to use nested returns. So there are 3 entities which need to be compared. Integer, what is the last integer used? A and B as used. Okay. I'll have integer C is equal to 10. Integer D is equal to 20. I will say integer E is equal to 9. Which is the highest? Obviously 20 is the highest. But the compiler has to give you that result. Now why it is again showing no problem? This ID has bugs. Okay, so first comparison. First I have to compare C with D. So is C greater than D? Then I have to compare C with E also. So will I use the AND logic or OR logic? Or logic says if one of them is true also, the whole result is true. And logic says all the input has to be true. Then only it is true. So that means C has to be higher than D and it has to be higher than E. So here I will use the AND logic, not the OR logic, because OR logic, what happens? If one of them is also true, the whole result will be true. The whole result true means what? C becomes true. C is the highest there. But wait. Okay, so I will write down console.writeLine. So let's say hypothetically right now C is the highest among D and E. So what will I write down? C is the highest. Okay, now else. Now here is where nested if else is required. I have compared C with D and C with E. Have I compared D with C? Let's say C is not the highest, then D is the highest. So I have to compare D with C. So I will compare D with C now. Is D higher than C? But please understand one thing, and D higher than E. Please understand one thing. If I have compared C with D, either C is the highest or D is the highest. Then the compiler already knows that. So if I have compiler, either C will be highest or D will be the highest. Compiler will know that. So that result is already kept in the compiler, which is the highest. So if I have done a comparison of C with D, I will again repeat the code out here. It's the same thing. Here I am comparing D with C again. That comparison has been done here already. So why will I do a comparison again? Why would I repeat my codes? Code should be less. Lesser code take lesser memory. So since this comparison has been done out here, I will not do the comparison out here. I will do what? I will remove this AND part. Am I clear why I am not doing a comparison with D with C again? So that has been done here. And please remember one particular thing. Compilers move from left to right and top to down. So this comparison is done earlier than this. D greater than C is not required out here because it's already been done out here. But have I compared D with E? That comparison has not been done. So if not, that is not been done. So what will I write down? Then which is highest? D is the highest. Else. Do I require the if again? I require the if I want to have operations to be performed. Now I have to compare. Let's say D is also not the highest. Then which is the highest? E is the highest. For that, I have to compare E with C. Have I done a compare of C with E? Already done it. So why will I repeat the code? Have I done a comparison of E with D? That's all been done out here. So why will I compare it? No comparison required at this level. So I will not require if. Because if you require if, you have to have R. Here if is not required because the comparison of E has been done with C and E has been done with D out here. E with C, E with D. Already done. So I will not require if. I'll directly write down. Then obviously which is the highest? Then E is the highest. So write it down. E is the highest. So let's run this. Which is the highest? 20. So let's look at this. 10. 10 is greater than 20. False. 10 is greater than 9. True. False and true. The whole condition becomes false. This block will be not executed. Else it will go out here. So what is the comparison done out here? Is C is the highest? No, D is the highest. Already kept in the memory. Then it compared D with E. Is 20 greater than 9? True. So this is true. Here also C is not greater than D. This is false. But in the reverse is true. So true and true. The whole condition becomes true. This part will be executed. This else block will be again ignored. So this is where the condition becomes true. So this part will be executed and this part will be again ignored. So let's run this. D is highest. Now I want to take the dynamicity of the code. So what will I change? I change the value. I make this as 90. So this is false. This is false. The whole condition is false. D is greater than C. That is true. D and C have been compared. D is greater than C. Yes. D is greater than E. That's false. False means this is also ignored. What's remaining? E is the highest. So when I run this, it will show me E is the highest. Similarly, I make C as the highest. So let's say make this as 100. Is C greater than D? True. Is C greater than E? True. The whole condition is true. If block will be executed, rest of the block will be absolutely ignored. Once a particular block argument is true, rest of the block below it becomes ignored. So let's run this. What is the problem with this? How much time it takes? The ID is on. C is the highest. Okay. So that gives you some glimpses of how we use the effects and an nested effects. Okay. So when we come tomorrow, I will show you switch followed by your loop statement. I want to finish up tomorrow switch, loop statement, and move to functions. This is one part of functions I want to cover. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Any questions for Prachi and Lakshmi?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
No doubt so far, Kaushik.
No questions from your end, then I will close the session. Thank you.
Yes, Kaushik.
Thank you.
Not able to hear both of you, I don't know why.
Hello.
Okay, anyways, I'm logging off today. Tomorrow we'll meet again. Thanks.